And tracking investments flying to India amid Prime Minister Modi's visit to the United States, Aerospace and Hindustan Aeronautics Limited have joined forces to produce fighter jet engines for the Indian Air Force. The agreement includes the potential joint production of GE Aerospace's F414 engines in India, supporting the Indian Air Force's Light Combat Aircraft Mk2 program. GE Aerospace, with over 4 decades of presence in India, has a strong track record in the industry, including engines, avionics, services, engineering, manufacturing and local sourcing. Now to discuss this further, we're joined by Professor Vikas Singh, author and columnist, joining us live from Hyderabad. So welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you so much for having me here.
So my first question to you, Prime Minister Modi met business entrepreneurs, business leaders, entrepreneurs during his US visit. Many expressed optimism about India's growth story. So how do you think that this will translate into investments for India?
I think this is a great occasion for the Prime Minister to really market India. Though India's track record over the last 10 years has been exemplary, we are a democracy. I think the world has recognized India as not only a democratic country, but also an economy with huge potential. You know, over the last 25, 30 years, we've been talking about India is a developing economy, but many in the international forum have now started seeing India as more of a developed economy. Though our per capita income may not indicate that we are a developed economy as yet, but our purchasing power, our demography, all points out to the fact that if you want to do business anywhere, India is the place to be in. So not only will this visit encourage investment to come to India, but it will also showcase India as a place to be in. We must see this whole visit of the Prime Minister not only as how many dollars are flowing into this country in the next 5 years, but more as a statement that India's time has come. The world has recognized India as the place to be in. Over the last 15 years, we've always been living in the shadow of China, that China is the factory to the world. But India's time has come, also because of the challenges that China is facing with relation to its political overreach, its image has suffered because of several political fallout that it has faced.
Right.
So in that sense, India is now considered to be the go place for business in this part of the world.
Right, sir. Now, sir, also, what are the factors, in your opinion, behind the increasing interest of US businesses in India?
I think we are a great market. If you look at the number of middle-class consumers in India, it probably is equivalent to the whole of Europe. Our demography supports us. The democratic system we have, the rule of law that India has, all this is encouraging for investors. Investors look at 3 factors basically when they want to invest or move money. One is there a market for their products? India certainly is a huge market. The second thing that they look at is their investment safe, which means that unlike Russia or China, the government is not a dictatorial where it can decide anything at the whip of a signature. So that's the second thing. The third thing that they look at is there potential for their investment, because not everybody invests for the next 2 years or 3 years. Many of these organizations, large organizations who enter into your market, invest for the next 15, 20 years. And in that sense, India's demography promises, at least for the next 25 years, that we are going to be a huge market. So these are the 3 factors, and India ticks all the 3 boxes very, very positively.
Right. Well, sir, just for better understanding here, where do you see India-US trade and investments in the medium to long term? That's about next 5 to 10 years.
I think we should be able to, so I'm not too much worried about the numbers. I think numbers can vary depending on the economic condition in the next 2, 3 years. But in the long run, it's good. I expect about $60 billion to flow into India in the next 5 to 10 years. But but if you look at, I mean, the investment should be seen in a larger perspective. For example, every $1 billion that's invested in India creates a market for the Indian economy by at least another 2 times more. So if somebody invests about $1 billion in India, it means that the Indian economy per se will also be encouraged to invest to match that figure. So investment should be seen from that perspective rather than just what's the dollar flow inflow that's coming in.
All right. Professor Vikas Singh, thank you so much for joining us on this broadcast with your insights on this.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for having me here. Bye.